will allow these beautiful young women to introduce themselves and what they do, and then we'll go into our conversation.
Hi, so my name is Shanita Robinson, and I own and operate Humble Hair. We are a salon that focuses on healthy hair care practices, but I also do weave installs, non-adhesive, no glue or lace or any of those things. So we practice safe weaving methods. And that's like the basis of my business.
Hi, everybody. I'm Fawnne. I am owner and master stylist of SalonNoa, located in Virginia Beach. We specialize in natural hair and cater to natural hair. Our salon does everything, but we want to target healthy, natural hair. So we offer treatments, hair care, the salon where everybody's welcome. We want you and your family to come in and receive good services. That's what we want to offer for Virginia Beach and surrounding.
Well, I'll start with you, Fawnne.
Okay.
How did you get into cosmetology? What made you go into it? And tell us about your passion behind it.
Okay, I guess I started out doing my own hair in high school. I went to a stylist when I was a child. We had one stylist. I'm from North Carolina, so only one person touches your hair. You don't go to a whole lot of people. So I had this one lady, and she would press and curl our hair, and then we were allowed to get a jerry curl, and then you were to grow that out and go back to the press and curl. And then we were able to get a relaxer. So we got that when I was young. And as far as styling, she was into hair care. So it was just, a French braid down the back, maybe with one little roller in the front. So we just didn't have a lot of options, and she wasn't going to do nothing else. That was just it. So I started doing my own hair, started working on my own hair in high school, asked friends to do it, and then went to college. And had a little bit change of directions, and then I decided to go to beauty school. And once I went to beauty school, I kind of just fell in love with that passion of just being my own and working with my own schedule and kind of dedicated myself. Starting out, I had a job, because when you're doing the entrepreneurship, we're doing a job and we're doing, hair. You're doing both. And, back then people would say, "Oh, you're going to get a real job." Those were the words that they used a lot, was a real job. And so I kind of realized, I really love doing this. And I told my mom, I said, "I'm going to leave the post office." That's a government job. Nobody does that. My grandfather was like, "What? Why would you do that?" And so once I left the post office, I dedicated myself, and I was like, "I'm really going to do this." And I would go in when there was nobody, and I would just sit there and wait, because I really wanted to be passionate about it. And plus, my mama wasn't going to let me come back home every day. I had to go out there and do something. So I started working and building and working my way up. And the thing I do like about doing hair is every single client, they kind of become family to you. And back then, I knew every single client's name. They would come get their hair done every week, every 2 weeks faithfully. So you learn their names, their children's name, the mom name, and you start to build these relationships. And they would trust you, with their hair. They would trust you for advice. So kind of having that bond just made me enjoy my job even more, having somewhat power within myself to say, "Oh my gosh," it just built confidence in me that people would want to ask my opinions. "Fawnne, what is good to do? What should we not do? What should we use? Oh, this is my hairstylist." I just felt good in this career. And I think about some of the jobs I had, sometimes you don't get that feeling.
Yeah.
And it's hard to get the recognition, especially on a daily basis. Sometimes people, we're doing styling people's hair, immediately they go to the mirror. And, it's like, hey, they're really taking that in, and you feel good about what you do, what your service is. Yes.
Shanita, the same question for you. How did you get into cosmetology, and then, what is your passion behind it?
Very similar. My mom used to take me to get my hair done. So she relaxed my hair when I was like 2. Don't beat her up. I already did. But fast forward, when she, got more knowledgeable, we started going to a salon. But I kind of outgrew the stylist. Everybody was going to the one popular stylist, but my mom was like, "We loyal, we stand with her." Yeah. And I would come home and undo it and do my own hair, similar to you. Yeah. So she was like, "Well, I'm not gonna pay for it if you're gonna just, undo what I just paid for." So it started with me doing my hair at home, and then in high school, we have Votech. And so I did cosmetology training in high school. From high school, I got my license immediately after I graduated at 18. And so I worked hair cuttery for 6 years, and that's kind of where I got my foundation. And I was going to college and all of that during the process. Fast forward, I think I was a social worker for about 6 or 7 years or so, and then I had a government job. Yes. I was on a government contract, was making the most money that I had ever made, but I hated my schedule. And so 10 years ago, I left that job and just started doing it on my own. And now I am a salon owner, trying to build a franchise in what I do.
Wow, amazing, amazing. And so I want to talk a bit more deeply about hair, especially our hair. What have you seen has been some of the issues concerning our hair?
Edges. There is an epidemic of no edges. When I had a baby about 3 years ago, and I was out for a year during that process. When I came back, because I've always been in high demand, because I've always just kind of taken care of the hair and did the weave, so it's rare that happens. Normally you go to somebody to get a sew in, and you go to somebody else to wash and treat and do whatever. So I opened up my books again, and I had a wait list. It was over 100 women. Oh, wow. It was a questionnaire, though, because I have a lot of filters. You can't just come up in here. I'm sorry. The energy just be too off with some people. So, I had a questionnaire, just, if you have any issues, with your hair, list them here. I mean, I would say about 80% on that list, thinning, no edges, thinning. I mean, it was terrible to see that. And so for me, it's like, I don't bash people or stylists that do wigs and weaves and not weaves, but lace and glue and all the stuff. But I just don't provide it, because it's not what you should do, and it's not what you should do all the time. So, and a lot of people don't know the history or what lace is for. Yes. Lace is for actors and actresses, and it's meant to be theater. Yeah, it was meant to be worn just really quick. Come up off the scene and get that off. It's not meant to be worn over time. But if you're going to wear a wig or a lace, just don't keep it so long. That's about it. Yeah.
Okay. I can say, as far as with sports and work, what is acceptable? I think sometimes it's hard for people, especially natural hair. I'm working with somebody now. She is in this education. She's a leader. We would call that a principal. And she has a problem with sometimes wearing her natural hair to work. Oh, wow. And I'm like, no, you can wear your natural hair. That is very professional. So sometimes I think we have a problem with that. And then my daughter is a dancer. So her hair being natural. I seen a ballerina with an afro. It's one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. And I made sure I went and told her, I said, "You are gorgeous. I love your hair." So I think sometimes that's what I deal with a lot. Definitely some hair loss, but sometimes just having people accept their hair and know that it's okay. It's okay to have your hair grow out. I educate people, our hair grows out naturally, then down. Our hair doesn't just grow out and hang down. So you want her hair sleek back? It's not going to happen. And some people are, especially in the dance industry, sometimes they take off points. Oh, wow. Believe it or not.
That's horrible.
Wow. They'll take off points because your hair is an afro. Wow. And this particular judge does not like that, has not seen that. It's been a judge for years. Most of the time the judges are there for years. I'm lucky my daughter's choreographer encouraged her to wear her braids. And I'll tell you this briefly. I literally, every time she competes, we always take her hair out. We always blow dry. We flat iron, slick it back. She can have a bun. And I literally took her braids out, and she went and do this, choreography, working on her solo. And the guy said, "Hey, Milo, where's your braids?"
Looking for 'em.
And she was like, "Well, I took them out." And he said, "You're not going to wear them for the solo?" And she was like, "No." And then he said, "I think you should get your braids back."
Oh, wow.
And so I'm like, we're flying out in 2 days. I'm like, you get out of practice at 10 o'clock at night. Who can I call to get your braids back? I was like, he doesn't even know what he's done. But I told him later on, and I thanked him. I said, "You don't realize what you did for me." I said, "You gave my daughter independence. These dancers changed their hair in 2 minutes. That's the request that they're asking, regardless of the race. You need to have a half up, half down in 2 minutes." That's hard to do when your hair's natural and growing out. So him encouraging her to have braids allowed her to do a half up and half down in 2 minutes. It gave her independence. And I told him that there will be a lot of African-American girls that will come in his company and see her and look up to her and know it's okay to wear her hair down. And now when she performs dance, she wears it down. She wears it out. So I feel like that's one of the issues we kind of face.
Okay. So when it comes to your hair care philosophy, what is your philosophy for healthy hair? And what does that look like when you're working with a client?
Definitely for me, my philosophy is do not self-diagnose. Sometimes a lot of people will decide what they need. I need a protein treatment. I'm going to just go ahead and do one. Or I need some color. I'm going to go ahead and do my color. So I always tell people, try to seek a professional, ask their advice first, and then partner up with someone. Find your stylist. You should be able to tell me your stylist. You should just have a place that you go. And I tell people, it's just like a confidence. I only go to SalonNoa. Miss Fawnne's my stylist. I use the products that she tells me, "Oh, no, sweetie, I don't use that." No, this is the only place I go to. You should have that. That should be something that you're proud to say and let people know, that this is my place. And once you partner with that person, you guys can get on the treatment plan. You should be intentional with your hair care. And if you're just all over the place, like, "Oh, I'm just washing it whenever," then those are the results you're going to get, because you're just all over the place. But you should know exactly every 6 weeks I do this. We do our color this time. It's time for her to do my protein treatment. When you're really rigid on that schedule, you can see results. You really can.
I think for me, my philosophy is just making sure I'm doing that consultation up front, and then all of my work kind of starts at the bowl. So just making sure I'm doing a really thorough examination of the scalp beforehand, collecting any type of information about sensitivities or allergies, and really getting that scalp. Is that a fly? I just hear it. Oh no, I'm sorry. But just making sure that scalp is completely clean, because I'm going to be placing a protective style over your hair. So if you have all this buildup and you have all of these scalp issues, and then we're not going to do it. And so it's a matter of knowing if this person can do what they coming in here for, and if we can't, what are the steps? How long do I need to work with you before we can get you to a point? Or maybe we just got to work on your hair and that's it. Maybe you can't get a weave. Maybe you just, but like you were saying, it's all about connecting to a stylist, making sure you get a professional eye, and then guiding you through that plan and that process.
So what is protective styling? Are they really, are braids really protective styles? Are weaves protective styles? Give
You
us
know how
the
they
tea.
say beauty is in the eye of the beholder? Protective is in the eye of the hand that touches you. Because if they don't know what they're doing, it's not protective. It's just not. There's just certain areas where you cannot put a braid. You cannot do it. Or like you cannot sew on this hairline. And I see it every day on Instagram. And, you know, they have thousands of millions of likes because it's a pretty style. But guess what? You keep doing that, you're not going to be able to, you're going to have to depend on a weave. And so protective really, it's hard to find people that know what they're doing. It's hard.
It's very true. That's very
That's
very
all
true.
I can say about that.
Yeah, no, definitely I agree with her. I use that term a lot because it's just out there. I say, are you going to be getting a protective style? I'd be like, you can two-strand twist your hair. That is protective. You're not doing anything to it. I try to change that definition because some people connect protective with a wig, protective. But I'm like, you can actually just twist your hair and leave your hair. That is protective, you know. So I've kind of changed that term in our salon, but it's just, I think it's a term out there, and it can go bad. I've seen it. I've seen people have issues. Somebody had a wig on for a year.
Yeah. They don't take them off sometimes.
Whoa.
Yep.
Take them off.
4 or 5 days later, we had somebody come in. Their hair's been matted since COVID.
Oh.
It's locked. We have one stylist there. She can take braids out. It's a gift God gave her. So she's the person to do that. But it was an experience, and once she got her hair free, there's two different situations. The first lady, I'm not sure she's going to come back. But the second lady, it was an experience, and I think she just had a problem with trusting and finding somewhere. So it's a lot going on, you know, out here. So people are using that word, but they're getting lost. You're getting lost. Because we have to think about that. If you've had your wig on for a year,
It's no longer protective.
and these are professional people. They're not homeless.
Yeah.
They're educated women like ourselves. They go to work every day. They're functioning, but they've lost themselves. So that's why I was like, ma'am, I really want you to make this salon your home. You know, once you found a place, then you say, oh, that's my place. I haven't been in a couple months. I should go back. You know, you start to say, hey, I miss the salon. I miss the girls. You know, I want to go up there and see how they're doing. So it gets you back in.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
So I'm thinking about now the styles that we had back in the 60s, 70s, and 80s and 90s. They're starting to come back, like the French rolls.
Yeah.
I'm happy about that.
Yes. I could do that. I
So,
could easily do that.
You know, the French rolls, what other styles do you see that are coming back that give you that classic look? Because some of the looks that I've seen around here, I'm just like, whoa. And you know, I look up to women like Diane Carroll, how they carried themselves so eloquently. So I want to see that back. That's why I sent people the Pinterest about what to wear for the Durbar, because you know, I want to see more women, you know, look like women and have that classic, beautiful look that's still sexy. So what do you think about, what are the trends for, you know, this year and maybe next year with the classic styles? And
I've seen the little, I guess it's like the genie ponytail. It comes down and it flips. Remember the flip? The flips are coming back. That's cute. Definitely, I could say the French roll, the twist. It's called the prom updo. It's like that pin curl ponytail.
That is back.
It's a ponytail with the pin curl, and it has the swoop bang. That's coming back. Yeah, so those things. Anything else you could think of?
A lady walked past my salon the other day with a mullet, and it was like a 2024 mullet, and I was like, oh all right. She was Caucasian, but our version was, when we got it cut right here and then it was long in the back.
Yeah, the long
So
back.
it's like,
That's
I might not mind doing a little something because, I got my foundation in cutting. So, yeah, come on through.
Now, speaking about cutting, why are we so afraid to get trims or cut our hair?
Well, it's sometimes hard to explain, but if you are not clearing those split ends, it just continues to split. If you think of, the end of your hair, if this is your hair and it's splitting here, if you never get that cut, it's just going to keep rising up. And then that's how you get the thin looking ends and the tangles. If you wear your hair natural, you get those, what they call fairy knots.
Very nice. Yeah.
And all of that. Yes. So you have to balance the trims with your treatments also. And it's really hard to, some people trim their hair themselves, but even your shears, your scissors matter. You can't use kitchen scissors to cut your hair. Guess what? They split your ends even further. So, like Fawnne and myself, we use professional shears. They seal your hair as we're cutting. So it's like, you really, again, it just goes back to needing that stylist hand and eye over you to guide you through what it is you need. But it's an obsession with length at the end of the day. And what you said, it's nutrition, it's maintenance, and it's genetics. All those things come into play. And as we get older, the hair just changes. So you may have to go a little shorter as you get a little older, and that is okay, as long as it's healthy. It's my motto. Long as it's healthy, let's just focus on that, not necessarily length.
Yeah. And I could definitely say on the other end of the spectrum, a lot of people come in, they'll do a big chop. I'm like, yeah, she knows. My hair is damaged and I just want it all gone. I'm like, well, I need to make sure what you did to get it damaged, we don't continue to do those things. So a lot of people will use a trim or cut, dramatic, I can't control anything else. I can't control my hair, so just cut it off. And it's like, hey, what's going on? Let's try to talk about it. And then, also make sure the habits have changed. Like, what products were you using? Come on over, let's get some new products. Let's try to do some new things. What are the goals? And cutting your hair can be freeing, but sometimes once you cut it, the problems are still there. So it's like we did that, and then now they're sad. I've had people literally cry in the chair over trims.
Oh, wow.
Crying. Bad. It just sucks the air out of the place. They're depressed. They're down and out, because they needed a trim. Yeah, I like to do a trim schedule. Being from the South, you cut your hair by the almanac. Spring, summer, winter, fall, 4 times a year. Every 12 weeks, you need to do a trim. You need to trim your hair. Some people have locks. They do a cut. Yeah, it's okay. You can cut your locks. That's fine. You can trim your hair. Those things are okay to do. I always tell people the scissors are your friend. Shears are your friend. The shears are your friend. Like, let's not be so rigid up. And literally in our salon, we take pictures of your hair. We show it to you first. We discuss it. We talk about it. So that they can be at ease about it. A lot of people, as soon as they get in, oh, are you going to cut it? I was like, hey, you got to calm down. We're going to take a picture first, and then we're going to discuss it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to agree what is the proper and right amount to cut, and then I allow them to make that decision. And hopefully they agree with me. I have people that won't do it, and that's okay. We just have to accept that. We're not going to force you to do anything, but Shanita is correct. We will educate you and tell you if you don't cut it, it just splits all the way up. And I've seen somebody's hair, not very few, but I've seen it split all the way up to the scalp. You must buzz it off with clippers at that point.
So what do you think about curly cuts? And because there's a lot of controversy about that, where it's not necessarily the best thing for the hair. It's better to cut the hair straight. So what do you all think about that?
Yeah, no, definitely. Everybody has their different theories on that. For cutting, curly cutting, when I learned, I am Rizo certified. So Rizo is definitely Hispanic lady that came up with that technique, and there was different curl types. And that helped me, allow me to see different types of curls and learn how to cut that way. In our salon, we like to blow dry the hair and then trim it. Curly hair, depending on the curl, it can spring in, it could be loose, all over the head. So it is hard to get an accurate cut when you cut it in the curly state. It's just no way possible. So if you at least blow dry the hair and stretch it out, that would give us some accuracy. If you flat iron the hair completely and have that hair bone straight, you're going to get an accurate trim. But possibly when you wet it back down, it could be, your curls could be different. So we try to encourage people, because we respect some people's journey. They don't want to use a flat iron. So we just ask that you at least blow dry the hair so that we can get it accurate, And then some people, they don't want a blow dryer at all. If they want the hair cut in a curly state, we will do that. We just respect the journeys in our salon.
Yeah, I'm not really a curly cutter myself. I've not been trained in it. So, outside of back in my hair cuttery days, when I would cut Caucasian hair, they would have different hair textures, curly, straight, and I would cut it wet. But with us, our curly hair, it's just a lot different. And it's, like she said, it's not going to be even if you just go in and cut it curly. So I'm a blow straight. Some of them, like if I'm doing a weave, so with all of my weaves, we do treating and trimming beforehand. And so for the ones that are getting a weave, it's just blown dry. But if they're getting like a silk or something like that, not wearing a weave, then we'll press it and then cut it so that the cut is as accurate as she was describing.
Wow. And so I have to ask this question. I notice when I look at the websites of many hairstylists, there's a Bill of Rights. So explain that to me. I have an idea, you're trying to keep certain customers away, but why is there so many rules and regulations? And are you afraid that that might turn customers away from you?
I used to have a Bill of Rights. My name is Shanita Robinson. I removed all of that type of wording and all of that from my website some years ago, because the why is, because stylists are a little hurt because people, they kind of will disrespect your time by canceling the same day, or maybe not even calling to tell you they're not coming. The no call, no shows, all of the policies come from something happening, what someone did, but you can't really attract more people if you're going to, use how this, same thing in a relationship. If the last man hurt you, it don't mean the rest, the next one is going to do it. So you can't treat all of the potential customers like how the ones, you just don't take them again. That's it. But yeah, it can definitely be a lot to take in. When you go to a stylist page to book, it's like, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, make sure you do this, it's a deposit, $80 here, and then don't go to the service, and then, it's just a lot. So I made sure to just remove all of that. I've even removed my cancellation fees, as long as it's done within, with respect. Give me some notice so I can get the spot filled, because most of the time I can. So unless it's an emergency, my clients, they pretty much respect my time.
Yes, no, I agree. I agree with Shanita. I don't have a lot of rules. Back in the days, I've been doing hair almost 30 years. You couldn't rules. You had to bring me something to eat. Yeah. When your mama cooked, just bring me a plate. That was the rule. So I just, when I started, you didn't have a lot of rules, and I still operate that way. But I agree with Shanita. I have had hurt, people have made appointments and didn't, canceled. didn't cancel at all, or showed up late and didn't care, asked for a discount. They want their hair done. I don't have all the money. Those type of things, and after it's done,
Can I pay you that?
at the register. Yes, at the register. Well, those type of things. So it makes you hard. It does. We're human. We're not robots, so we are human, and it does hurt. But I try to remind myself every day. I just try to remove that experience. Whatever happened, I try to go to the back, get myself together, and then prepare myself for the next client, because the last person, try to get out of here without paying. I don't want to take it out on the next person, so I try to go to the back, recharge, refresh, pull myself together, and go back out. So I think we just have to remember to keep it professional. Like Shanita said, you're seeking out professional stylists. And sometimes when you see those rules, sometimes it breaks the profession down. So when you start seeing all these things, you may not be in a professional setting. You know what I'm saying? So I'll just keep that in mind, and I'm just being honest. But sometimes I get rules, but when it just overdoes it, it takes the profession out. So whoever that person is, they're hurt. And when you're hurt like that, you can't work like that. You got to step to the back, get professional, pull yourself together, go back out and start out fresh. So that person may have not pulled themselves together. You know what I mean? And going back out, they like, this how I'm going out. You either all y'all gonna do it or none of y'all at all, and that's not fair. That's not fair to somebody new that's coming in starting out. So I say do that.
Now, you bring up the salon setting. Now we're seeing more stylists go into suites. Do you see the circle changing back to the salon setting? Because I feel like that the salon setting was a pillar in the Black community. Yeah. It allowed for customers to, have a community where they can talk about their ills. And then it was a place for us to provide news and messages that would help, the individual or the community as a whole. But I feel like everyone is saying that they want to be a boss and have their own thing. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But, I think the community piece is lacking. So can you speak to that?
Yes, no, I can definitely speak to that. I've had a salon always. I've liked the salon setting. I've worked in a suite before, so I know what that's like. You're in this space by yourself. And sometimes just from the stylist perspective, it's just me and you one-on-one. So sometimes when there's no filter there, if the situation doesn't go well, I've had a female be touched by a male inappropriate in that setting. No, there's no eyes, there's no ears. So it's a lot that goes into this suite, like she said, you do the hair and at the end they don't pay. There's another person in there. So sometimes I like the salon setting. I do, because there are witnesses, there's teamwork, there's help. I can call and say, hey, Shanita, we need somebody to do this consultation together. I like the togetherness, and I agree. I do feel like being out on your own, a suite is a salon. The suite, the little room is just a small salon. That's all it is. It's just only you and the client at one time. And I always tell people that when they say they want their own suite, so you want your own small salon. Oh, no, I don't want a salon. It's the same thing. You're paying rent, but it's a small space. It's about like your bathroom and a half. So could you imagine, you got your house, but then you're going to pay for your house, and you're going to pay for the bathroom and a half. You're going to go with the house and you're going to have your husband and your daughter or you could just get the bathroom and a couple bathrooms, just you by yourself in the bathroom. We're going to choose the house. You're just going to always choose the house. So that's how I try to tell people when you like it. Do you want to be in 2 bathrooms by yourself? Or do you want to be in the whole house with everybody else? I know they get on your nerves. I know your daughter and your son really wear you, but you enjoy them. So sometimes going into this bathroom by yourself is just going to be you and that mirror. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I actually worked in a suite for about 5 years when I quit my job. I started, while I had the job, I was doing the part-time, like you were saying, in a open floor salon. And then when I actually quit, I went into the suites, and I kept outgrowing the suites. Had to keep getting bigger and bigger. And then I'm like, well, I'm really bored. Like, it's you have your neighbors next door, but you never see them. You're not you talk to your clients, but at the same time you kind of get cut off. And I felt like my craft was just getting dull. I wasn't seeing anything other than what was online. And so for me, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to continue to pay this premium high price for this bathroom and a half when I can, just have I don't want a huge salon. I have a 3-chair salon. So it's still pretty intimate. And we have those conversations, and, the clients even form relationships outside of our salon. So I really enjoy that because the clients are like our family. And so, to speak to the suites, if you find someone that you like, that is all good. But from the stylist perspective, it's really just running your own. You're running your own business, but it can make you stagnant.
Now, let's talk about products. What is in your bathroom, on your bathroom tabletop or dresser, and what do you recommend to your clients?
Okay, so I'm that weird hairstylist that really don't have a lot of hair products at home. So I mainly use Influence. We both do. So for my daughter, I use moisturizer, and I use an oil. And of course, we have our shampoos and conditioners, hydrating and moisturizing, and sometimes deep cleansing, depending on how long it's been since I washed her hair last. But I don't have a lot of spritz sprays, and I don't have a lot of things. I've never been a product junkie. So, because it's all, like you said, marketing and gimmicks.
Yeah.
It's a lot of that. And you just, there's not a magic potion, a magic anything. It's those 3 things: the nutrition, the health, your nutrition, your maintenance, and your genetics. And so if you're not working on those things, it doesn't really matter what you buy. You can rack up as many products as you like, but I make sure I keep some shampoo, conditioner, leave-in, moisturizer, and an oil.
I would agree the same thing. I'm not a product junkie either. But I have a lot of products at the salon. So, there's a lot of products there, but at home I don't. I try to do my hair there. I try to just let home be home and do my hair there. Now, I do have at home maybe, like she said, moisturizer, some oil, just a few things to style with. But the basis, shampoo and conditioner, is there. I have it at the salon. The products I like to use Influence. I love that brand, African American owned. I like to support Africa. Yes.
Every salon in this region uses that product.
Yes. No, it's a really good products. I like to support African American products, and then if their products are good. I work for the brand. We work for the brand, so we're able to get the products every week. We have a rep that comes out. We have a storefront in there, so you can come in and purchase. Yeah, sometimes you're getting products, you would like things. You gotta, it's hard to get what you want. You have to order online, have it come in, but you can literally come in and shop with us. And I recommend the same thing as Shanita. You want to have a good shampoo and condition. You want to have that. We compare what we're using, like what you use at home. I try to make sure you're using the same exact thing. So there's no secret. It used to be secrets, like we're not going to tell the clients what we're using. They got to figure it out on their own. No, you need to know. You can come in and use the same exact thing so we can be matched up. So then when you do come back, your hair is the same. And sometimes with products and some companies, they're not doing research. Our salon is now researching. We're working with Mr. Rudy to try to perfect the edges. They're trying to perfect that now. So he's bringing samples. We try them out. We give feedback. So he literally does that with every single product. So that really speaks volumes, to have that. I love to be able to reach out to the brand owner, like yourself. I like to be able to approach that person and just give feedback, ask questions. And I always tell people, sometimes you go into certain stores, brand stores, there's nobody there to answer the questions.
That's very true.
There's nobody there. So I'm easily going to support and purchase from a brand where I can really talk to the owner, talk to the owner of that brand and ask questions. Yeah.
Now, any audience questions? Okay.
Okay.
All right, I have a general question. Could you speak to, my hair is natural,
Yeah.
and now they are promoting products and it looks like it's like a whole line where you can wash, and then you put this product on, and it enhances your natural curl pattern. Could you speak on those products?
When
Pros, cons?
Okay, when you're saying products, are you talking about texturizers, curl enhancers?
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're called texturizers, like Tracy Ellis promotes one called Patterns, and you put this.
I was just with their product development last week. Yes. So, yeah, she has like a curl enhancer. Yeah.
It's like you put it on, and then you, I guess, sit under a blow dryer, and then you have all of these natural curls. So I just wanted to know if anyone could speak on that.
Well, as far as curl enhancing products, I just try to always encourage everybody. Tracy Ellis Ross, whatever product she's making, you want to make sure that whatever the model looks like, that your hair looks the same. Okay? So we don't want to, our hair be from Africa, but the model's hair is from Brazil. We don't want that. You know what I mean? So let's just say it like that. So I want to find the models that are from Africa. You know what I mean? So you want to make sure whatever you're looking at, whatever you've seen, and they literally do, sometimes behind the scene, there's a lot of things going on that you may not know to get this exact look.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that go into play.
Maybe weaves and things. It's not
Yes,
even
sometimes there's not even their hair. There's wigs, there's weaves. I'm honest about it. I'll post on social media that this is extensions. This is not her real hair. But some people, they don't tell that. And I don't know, I'm not sure if people seen that years ago. They had the relaxer boxes, those little kits. A lot of the the models were natural.
Yeah.
They were never relaxed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I just would say that, does it work? Yes. If they're using it and you see the look, it does work, but it may not work for you. So I'm not sure if you want to use that product per se. To be honest, I like her stuff. The blow dryer is brown. It's like a chocolate color. I love this blow dryer. Like, I've never seen a brown blow dryer. Like, it just looks like us to me. She has a little brush, an edge is in the package. I love her marketing and branding. The products are okay for me. It's not anything that, I like to use professional products, but, I like her stuff. But I can just say, as far as models, when you see that hair, if it looks Brazilian, that's not going to work. Not on my hair. Okay, so just match it up that way. I hope I can help you.
I want to say something too, because there are a lot of celebrities that are coming out with these hair products and these hairlines, and YouTube has always been, has been on the rise, and everybody has been learning from YouTube. But the thing is, it may not be for you, and it's not a professional product. It's just good marketing to what you were speaking to. So you want to be careful not to fall into those marketing traps, because they look good. They have millions of dollars behind these campaigns. And so, of course, it's going to look like, oh, this is the best thing because this superstar uses it. And I don't think that was Beyonce's hair. Okay.
So I would add to that too. A lot of celebrities are getting into the beauty product game because they're not making money in the careers that they're in now, and that's just the honest truth. Yes, they know nothing about it, and even like John Legend, he has a skincare line, and I said, but John, you're a pianist. You couldn't go and brand your own pianos. You have to do skincare. But the margins are great. I have to be honest. The margins are great with skincare. And not so much in hair care, but you
Yeah.
can make a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
But is that really the essence of you and who you are? So they're not making money in acting, they're not making money in music, and so they have to find another way to make money, and so they they put it into creating these brands.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they have
which
the
is
money
white
to do
label,
it.
and I know some of the chemists that
Oh,
make these
yeah,
brands.
definitely.
Yes.
That formulate for them, and so it's real interesting to see the tide. But those that are really serious about it, those are the ones that are going to win. But many of those celebrity brands are just going to be here today and gone tomorrow.
Yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Mhm.
36 years as a licensed cosmetologist, so I
Yes.
understand everything you're saying.
Yes.
So what is your perspective on, they were debating for quite a while whether or not natural hairstylists should be licensed.
Ooh. Excellent question and point. I train apprentice. So you do apprenticeship in my salon. You must do 3,000 hours. And then at that time, I will sign off for you to go to state board. Yes, you need licensure in Virginia. I feel like in the profession, you do. We're working with chemicals, not chemicals, scalp issues. You must educate yourself. The standards, I've helped create those standards to make sure, some terminology was used, that represents our people or whatever. I've helped with that. So I feel like the baseline could be enough to intrigue and encourage people to want more. So sometimes I feel like even if you don't have that, then you really have nowhere to go. So I feel like at least with the standard, they're making changes. They changed the My Lady book, which is the education that students use. They now have lock training in there. Natural hair is a chapter in itself in there. They've made changes with that. The state of Virginia, they've made changes as well. So I feel like, yes, you need to have some training. Even state standards sometimes could be minimal, but I say at least get people intrigued in that learning so that they can encourage and want more. And I feel like they need it. Yeah.
I agree. That's it. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah. You need a license if you're gonna be professionally working on someone's hair.
Second one is with this generation of stylists, what do you feel that they're lacking?
Social skills is one of them. Social skills, people skills, customer service. It's not just about knowing how to do a style, and we can do that. That's a given. But dealing with people, you have to know how to treat people and how to care for them. You're like, we are really nurturers. We are caregivers, and essentially, I know I am with my clientele and at my salon. Anybody that walks in the door, I'm greeting them. I'm offering them snacks and water, and got your feet up. I'm pampering them when they come in. It's not just about come on, get your hair done and get out. I make my space feel like it's just a peaceful place to be. You can just come and relax and let go for these few hours that you're here so that you might have a lighter evening when you leave.
Yes. I can definitely say, let's have this as a career. It's just not a hustle. It's just not like a little side thing. But definitely take it serious. I feel like sometimes the newer stylists could definitely do that. I'll work a regular schedule. I think sometimes having a schedule and taking it serious. Each situation, not just throwing it off. And then I think sometimes having ourselves together, the professional look, we mentioned that earlier, but just making sure your hair is done. I've had stylists who I said, hey, you got to go get a scarf. You got to go get a hat. I can't allow you to come in with your hair like that. You can't work like that. I've had to send people home that were dressed inappropriate. So we must present ourselves well. We don't want to look down, especially in the beauty industry. People are coming. I've heard of some salons where you must wear makeup. They want them. I don't do that, but you know, I've heard of places where that's you must have makeup. You have to have a look in order to work there. So I feel like once you know look like it, you look better, you feel good, and then you take it serious. Once you dress up, but you can't just come in, you know, with the leggings, you know, flip flops, you know, tank top, and just doing somebody's hair. There are standards, you know. You don't want the shears to hit your foot, you know, your underarms at the bowl. You know, you don't want to have the shirt too low, your pants too low. There's standards so that the client can feel comfortable. You know, sometimes I've been out and I've seen things and I'm like, is this the new style? You know, where are your clothes?
That's
You know,
true.
so when you're in the salon, we got to have a standard where we're dressing right. So that's how I feel about it. Yes, ma'am. Just take it as a career profession, and then come in and dress that way. Yes.
Okay, one last question.
Okay.
Okay, so my one last question is that, like, I don't really know how to put this, but is it also too late to start somewhere, even though it takes you so long to know what your passion is?
Okay. Excellent question. I would say no, it's never too late to start anything. Definitely, if you trying to find your way, you have to try different things. So you should try it all. I've tried everything. So I pretty much know what I want to do because I tried different things. You have to try it to know if that's something you want to do. And some of the things I tried them so long ago, so I have to now go back and revisit to make sure I don't want to do those things too. So once I do it one more time, I'll know for sure. Be like, no, I don't want to teach high school students that want to do hair. I want to teach, you know what I mean? I got to go back. I got to try it again and see, because that was years ago when I did try that. You know what I mean? So, no, I feel like you can, there's no time too late to pivot. You can definitely pivot and work hard, seek out mentorship, get advice, you know, ask someone that's in the business, in the beauty business, and say, hey, can I pick your brain? Can I talk with you? Ask people about their journeys. Ask them, like, how did you do it? What drives you? What motivates you? And just ask and see if anything they say will fuel the fire in you. Sometimes people can share things with you that makes you say, you know what? I felt like that before. Maybe I can feel that way again.
Thank you so much to our panelists. Thank you so much for coming. Give them a hand. And we're going to take a wellness break, and then we'll have our next